Snowden and everything like that. But first things first, I was really disturbed by Robert Mueller yesterday. At many issues, okay, 3/4 of the issue, he seemed clueless and detached, thinking about his vacation rather than what he should be doing and had been doing, I thought, for 7.5 years, a good job.
Well, you know what? Maybe yesterday, there he is. Maybe he was thinking, you know, this is the last time I'm going to have to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee. This is going to be a slam dunk. It's not going to be too hard. Unfortunately, they wanted to know about all sorts of stuff. They wanted to know about the Boston bombing. They wanted to know about Benghazi. They wanted to know about the IRS. And Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, had a lot of really pertinent questions for the top lawman in America who should know the answers, but sure looked a lot like Sergeant Schultz. Take a look.
Can you tell me how many agents, investigators you've assigned to the case?
May be able to do that, but I'd have to get back to you.
Can you tell me who the lead investigator is?
Off the top of my head, no.
This is the most important issue in front of the country the last 6 weeks. You don't know who's heading up the case? Who the lead investigator is?
At this juncture, no.
So you don't know who's leading the case?
I do not know who is the lead agent.
Do you know if you've talked to any of the victims? Have you talked to any of the groups who were targeted by their government? Have you met with any of the Tea Party folks since May 14th, 2013?
I don't know what the status of the interviews are by the team that's on it. You're asking questions about details of the investigation. I'd be happy to take...
That is not a detail about the investigation. That took place prior to the investigation started.
May I please finish?
I'm asking basic questions about the investigation, like who's heading it up. And you can't tell me that. You've had a month now to investigate. This has been the biggest story in the country, and you can't even tell me who the lead investigator is?
I know nothing.
You would think that somebody on his staff at some point would pass him a note and say, here's the name of the lead investigator. But it does come to mind today that quite possibly people are not going to give that much more information in these hearings after what we've seen happen to James Clapper. You know, when he said whatever he said in March about whether or not the United States is spying on all of us, you know, maybe now the new way of doing these hearings is you're just not going to give a lot of information out because you don't want to be hammered the next day for saying something.
I have something else. I think we're seeing, Gretchen, that we're not going to get information out of this, but it's disrespect to the questioners.
Sure.
It's disrespect to in this case, the House Judiciary Committee, disrespect from the two heads, the former heads of the IRS, and the future head of the IRS. And then you see Robert Mueller as if it's not so much he almost chose not to be prepared for this. And no one's ever questioned his competence, as far as I know. And the question, I think maybe not only did he not know, maybe there isn't one.
Well,
maybe there is not an investigation into this.
I think you might have just hit the nail on the head, Brian, because while Mr. Mueller there, who is under oath, didn't know the name of the lead investigator or about the investigation, Daily Caller talked to a couple of the lawyers representing all the Tea Party groups. The FBI has not contacted a single Tea Party group regarding the investigation, according to Jay Sekulow and Cleta Mitchell as well. And in fact, the Daily Caller called the FBI press office and asked for a comment on that, and they transferred them to a phone line that nobody picked up and eventually disconnected.
Well, you want